Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. What a Tuesday. What a weekend. It's been amazing. What a ride. Hi everybody again. I'm going to keep these shorter. A lot of you have been asking for more condensed. They love the alpha, but they want to keep it shorter and more condensed. So I'm going to focus on just tightening these up a bit, trying to condense them down to maybe 20 to 30 minutes and see how this resonates with all of you instead. So yeah, I'm Stefan Roost, again, founder and CEO of Laguna Labs, which is the development arm behind Truflation and the Truth.network. Work very closely with Oliver on Truflation and with Vadim on the Truth Network. And so those are instrumental elements in tracking a decentralized database. So what are we going to cover off today? Obviously, Trump, we can't go about that. There's the WEF taking place, the World Economic Forum, up in Davos in the Swiss mountains. So lots of activity going on right now across the world. I mean, turmoil. I talked about Days of Thunder. If you listened on the Thursday event, we were talking about Days of Thunder. Chaos will reign and change is coming about, whether you like it or not. And the Europeans generally don't like too much change, especially not disruption. We want to keep everything cozy and nurture change versus actually disruptive change. And ultimately, nobody likes change, right? Change is the only constant that we're going to be living with. And right now, we're going to see a lot of change. So buckle up, get ready. And we're also going to be driving a lot of change within Truflation and the Truth Network, decentralizing data and making that available to anybody. And there's something, we just had a really good call today in collaboration with a nation that we launched the inflation index with, and we're going to be bringing that out even further and announcing that even more. So stay tuned for that. But we had a really good call with that government. So it's a public-private partnership where the government's trying to streamline, get more efficient. We got our AI tools being able to aggregate over 80,000 items from that government in one specific food category, and then be able to bring that across and track that in and on the various. Oh, why is X not live? Oh, X is not live yet. Create broadcast. Sorry, guys. Hang on. Give me a second. I don't know why I forgot to switch this on. I was just getting so excited about the day. Everyone, and hearts on so people can hit the like button. Create broadcast. Okay, let me know. Now it's on. Should be live. Hopefully that's all working for you. Live, 4 seconds in. Here we go. I can see myself. It's actually working this time. I think you need to go live first to be able to see yourself first in X. But I'm going to switch off the audio so you don't need to hear that. Anyway, yeah. So that's thanks, Crypto Hobbyist. Just updated that. Let me know. Is that still working? Is it live now? So I'm going to try and keep these shorter, like I mentioned, to about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You guys asked for a shorter download. Again, what am I going to cover? I'm Stefan Rust, founder and CEO of Laguna Labs, which is the development arm behind Truflation and the Truth Network. I'm going to go a bit into the Truth Network and some of the updates coming across Truth Network as well as across Truflation. And at the same time, also go into what's taking place, right? We had Trump weekend. We had the Trump token that had a rub off onto Solana, Jupiter, Radium, which are the exchanges on the Solana blockchain. And we then also saw the Trump token, a launch of a Melania token, the Barron token. So the family is coming together. And if you go to index.fund, you'll be able to buy into the Trump family index. So that's also coming. So stay tuned there. But yeah, there was obviously the inauguration, maybe it's old news already, but we had the inauguration on yesterday, on Martin Luther King Day. And ultimately, right after that, guess what? We have a slew of presidential actions, right? So executive orders signed by Trump. And you can see here, right, the complexity associated with that. I mean, this doesn't even fit on one whole page. It's got 5 pages. You need to go through each of the page to track them. But basically, uh, so what he's OEC, so he's declined the OEC global tax deal. Amazing, right? So finally somebody saying no to that. Yeah, and all these other things that he's got. Promoting beautiful declined and designed beautiful federal civic architecture, restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. Anyway, so it's like really securing our borders ultimately. Yeah, so he's withdrawn from the the Paris climate agreement, which, to be honest, I think a lot of us sort of see as a lot of virtue signaling, or a whole bunch of consultants and advisors trying to get in on an act to get government grants, governments to be more centralized in the definition of what climate cleanup is defined to be, versus actually implementing climate solutions, driving electricity, right? And mandating towards, everybody's changed their net zero goals of 2030 be net zero to 2050, by which they will never be alive anyway and have no impact and relevance in the mix when they step down in 2030. He's put on a federal hiring freeze, so they can't hire anymore in the government, which is great. Less government is more in terms of effectiveness, etc. So anyway, you can read all of these here. I won't go through those, but a lot of different activities taking place, and all in parallel to the World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum, I mean, Trump is apparently speaking on Thursday via video at the World Economic Forum in Davos. It's held together. It's basically a bunch of European countries trying to remain engaged and connect with the rest of the world. They've got speakers from Ukraine. They've got the Euro EC commissioner, the German president speaking, all these, elite officials, and they all fly in by airplane, by the way, private jets. I think there's some 1,500 private jets that have landed up there. Yeah, and the whole idea behind the WEF this year, I think, is rethinking growth. What is growth? Industrial, how do industries survive and maintain in digital era? Investing in human capital, protecting the planet, and restoring trust. Yeah, and lots of interesting outputs there. I don't want to go into it. It's pretty political, but basically it's a bunch of politicians trying to protect their jobs and their reason for being. And I don't know, it's pretty appalling. All of the governments around the world, their reason for being has been creating a significant amount of debt, running a budget deficit to the scale that we have never seen before, despite all the limitations and regulations of what they should be doing and how they can be doing. Ultimately, just cheating the system because they're in charge of the system and they are the system. So they don't want to give up the system. There's a really good podcast I did just earlier, which is coming out. It's going to be a whole series where we sort of look at how we've had MAGA, right? Make America Great Again. And now we want MEGA, you make Europe great again? How do we make Europe great again? What are some of the steps? What are the mandates that the government have said? And how do we rectify those mandates and actually put real practices in place? And how can blockchain and technology innovators, AI, come in and really help drive innovation? And what do you need to do as an entrepreneur to drive innovation? And how do we create success? And what does success look like? And so, we've got a series of those coming up. So, check those out. And anyway, there's a lot coming up around Trump and his Trump token. You saw how much he raised. Look at this. It's now $40 billion TVL. I mean, FDV. So it's like, wow, I wish we could do that at Truflation, that's for sure. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's actually very sad that how real world products that are actually really building super integral stuff to the economy just can't get the recognition that Trump can get. Well, I mean, ultimately, he's a big brand. What's he doing with this? Apparently, he owns 80% of those tokens. So the great thing about this is now we have a president that has more wealth in crypto than he does in the fiat world. Get your head around that. Try and spin that. What's that mean for crypto? You can for sure see a friendly crypto regulation coming our way, but they're going to try and make this an American crypto. So what does that mean for the rest of the world? How do you tabble? And how does the Europe play into this? How do they stand up and build an own opinion and set up a friendly regulatory environment for crypto entrepreneurs and not having to go to 27 hoops and regulatory approvals and frameworks and MiCA and the Digital Services Act and censorship, et cetera, et cetera? How do we avoid that? And how do we allow entrepreneurs outside of the US also to build? China has also got its own problems. So it's going to be interesting world and a huge amount of opportunity for everybody. But since then, we've got the official Trump token. I think it's up. What's it up? It's up from like, I don't know, somewhere down here at $6 all the way up to $40. Huge bump. So 10x up. And I think it was all the way up at $70 up here. So yeah, amazing. Hopefully you got in on that ride. But there was a huge trajectory on January 19th. So some people got into it. But some of the other benefactors was obviously Solana. Solana was riding that wave, right? Solana, the coin is launched on Solana. So you can see here over the last 7 days, look at that, whoosh, from here, 180 all the way up to 290, I think it hit. Yeah, 286. So all-time high now. Pretty impressive. Now hovering around 240. So where's this going to go in the future? And you look at the trading volume on Solana, thanks to this over the last week, we had more 56% of total trading volume across all DEXs and DeFi in crypto were on the Solana blockchain, and more than Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Binance, all combined. So significant amount of volume, significant amount of activity, all on Solana. And yeah, I gave a bit of a podcast over here. Check this out. Solana Floor, a really good site that actually tracks a lot. Yeah, here you go. Number one news source for Solana, right? Powered by Step Finance. Really good conversation with Jack. Check it out. Already had 6,300 views. Really nice insights, and I liked the meeting with Jack. Over at Solana Floor. Check it out. They got a conference coming up in Turkey, in Istanbul, around I think the April timeframe. So if you're there and you want to learn more about the Solana community and want to learn more about what Truflation and the Truth Network will be doing with the Solana community, you better be there. We'll be there. So excited to be there. But check out that video. I think that the team's working on some small clips. And so you can hear a bit about the content there and a different opinion that you'll hear here, and somebody else asking some questions. So that was really around that. So lots of activity on the Solana, thanks to that chain. But I think what's happening more importantly is take a look at the way these meme coins are going. All of a sudden, politicians can actually launch a meme coin. It can be, if you're a good politician, price goes up. If you're bad, it goes down. So ultimately, the value of the meme coin is a representation of the sentiment associated with a politician in the community. Now, that's a very good voice to be able to exert and highlight. Are you doing good and well? And you get mark to market immediately. If they don't like a policy, maybe the price goes down. If they like the policy, price goes up. All of these things have become really possible. And what does that mean? Think about it. On the blockchain right now, 99.8% of all transactions are US dollar denominated or reference back to the US dollar, BTC to US dollar, Ethereum to US dollar. You think about that, right? So 99% of all transactions on the blockchain denominated in US dollars. Now I have all these meme coins. I'm going to convert them into dollars. Guess what? All of those are going to be backed by US dollars. And so ultimately, I'm thinking US dollar, no matter what currency you have out there, it's all going to be referenced back to the US dollar and backed by the US dollar. And ultimately, is this a way to create new coins, to create new regulation, have new ways of engaging loyalty? Is this a new way of politics, new way of fundraising, new ways of settling debt? But ultimately, all of that is now going to be backed. That's going to be money that's raised, that's going to be backed by the US dollar, which may be backed by gold and Bitcoin and other reserves. We still have to see those mandates coming out. But it's going to change the whole mindset, and memes are going to become the new currency. Meme coins are the new countries, which is what we have been saying for so long. We've been talking about the golden age. Number one, they talked about the golden age. Have you seen our blog posts back in a while when we talked about the golden age? We've been on this for quite a while. So nothing new. We wrote a blog post way back when. Here, let me have a look and share the tab. I got to keep up. And it's got 25 minutes to go. Wow, quick. Here we go. Right, we wrote the Doge letter. Here, how big is the election economy? No, where was the golden age. Here. Back in December, we talked about the golden age. And if you look at our tweets, we had lots more around golden age. But here we talk about the golden age. And guess what? Trump was on stage talking about the golden age. So we were ahead in terms of trying to come up with a narrative. I mean, we weren't alone, but I'm sure we were one of the leading elements talking about how this golden age is going to manifest itself, right? Will we see 5% growth, a whole new Indonesia being created? Will we see a whole new Turkey layered on top of the US economy? What about that? I mean, just if it can grow 5%, it's significant. And I think one of the things that we've realized around Doge, it's just constantly putting out questions on how a government is efficient or not, looking at where they're spending the money. In the past, we've never looked at that. We've always just said, oh, the government knows what they're doing. Let's trust the government. Let's sit back. But actually now we're seeing where all that money is being spent, how that money has been wasted. And they took action immediately. So there were websites that are now government sites that are 404 pages, right? Page not found so you go to those pages, it's gone. Wow. What's that mean? How is that impacting everything? So those are how rapid impact and the change is coming, and it's going to trickle down. We haven't seen the beginning of it, and we haven't yet felt any of the beginning of it. So that's coming. Yeah. Oliver wrote the team actually wrote a really good blog post on President Trump and the cabinet best serving American people. Economy will undoubtedly be a challenge. 3 blows hit the economy last, signaling trouble ahead. What are those 3 blows here? 1, employment data, right? So jobs added, unemployment dipped. So he thinks that the economy is super strong, right? It dropped. So, but if you think about it, what does that mean? So unemployment has dropped, and jobs added are up. So if that's the case, are these jobs only being created in real industry or in rent-taking industries, right? So are they being used by government officials? They're being hired. Yeah, here you go. Healthcare industry, government. That's where they're all health education. So we're hiring people in areas that are not actually productive and developing and growing. That's where we need to be hiring people. So that's the mind shift that is going to come. And that's what Doge is trying to highlight. who are rent seekers and who are productivity providers and creators of elements. So second blow, consumer sentiment, based on University of Michigan, is hitting 3.3%, right? So long-term inflation is expected to be here 3.3%. So that's what the market thinks. We actually think 3 is the new 2. You saw it, you heard about it on Thursday. So ultimately, and here, Truflation identified this trend back in 2024. So check it out. Rate cut expected in June. So there's one cut expected this year. Let's see. I mean, the money printer, I think, will go burr as we need more infrastructure and we need to make sure the investment actually goes to market versus versus actually just getting stuck in government. So that's what Doge has been doing. And what we've been trying to do is really get more efficient around what truth and highlighting the truth network and differentiating Truflation and the truth network. So, we've been really serious and busy around the truth network. And the team have built out the truth network. It is live today, guys. And look at the ecosystem already built around the truth network. Okay, it's a bit of a promotion. But you can see here the ecosystem that's built. And what does this ecosystem look like? And why is this so important? We have a number of data providers. These can be governments. These can be data aggregators. These can be independent entities. Or you can see here, Argentina government is there. You can see Trivago for travel information. We've got Parcel. We've got a whole bunch of data providers, etc. Now, ultimately, those data providers provide their data, and we, via AI, and these are over 100 million data items that we are now tracking. Just alone, one data aggregator today, this morning, which we aggregated, had over 50,000 data items that we aggregate, we verify using AI tools, we compose, and we then share across a network of node operators, which are maintaining the software for this decentralized economic database. So 100 million data items, maybe 3 price feeds for every single item that's tracked in there, maintained, verified with a consensus algorithm across a network of node operators. Ultimately, the rewards for the data provider is settled in truth tokens. Now, where do those truth tokens come from? They come from a distribution network that is made available for data consumers. The consumers pay in truth using the tools and accessing that data through this distribution network. That then gets settled with each of the node operators, who then reimburse the data providers for the source of truth. Inside this distribution network, so there's a whole software stack, number one, in terms of integrating this data into this decentralized database. There is this decentralized database that is out there that is maintaining, hosting, and computing using that data, and with a consensus algorithm packaged into that. That is then shared across the distribution network. You can go and access this data either using an SDK. So go to the documentation, start building, hit the button here, and boom, it'll take you to all the documentation. You have Python scripts, SDKs, you have Golang, you have TypeScript, JavaScript, etc., all there available for any developer to start integrating into their real-world asset chain application, into their synthetic asset, into prediction markets, DEXs, as well as financial tools like a Truflation. And you can get it through a webhook, through an API gateway. You can get it on chain or even RPCs. So ultimately, or through oracles. So as you know, Chainlink's a big provider. So we work with Chainlink on the distribution of our indexes, as well as the ingestion of data from Chainlink into the Truth network. So really glad to be working with Chainlink and the Link Marines to help us actually build this. A lot of the node operators that we're working with are very shared amongst the Chainlink community as well. So more to come there, and ultimately you'll see a couple of announcements coming out in that channel. And then ultimately with consumers, right? I talked about the consumers, they pay for the data and they get it through the distribution network. And just to show you the magnitude and the size of all of these partnerships that are already in place that we have been working on. Check out all of these ecosystem partners, and you can find their data on chain. You can find, look at that. I mean, all these data providers, you can find data aggregators. We worked with Chirp. Chirp just did some competition on Bybit. I don't know if you saw that. We got Allura on the AI side, GT protocol as well, Koi in the consumer, what do we call it? We are doing the crowd sourcing of pricing information. And the same with Scanit. Scanit is a network of mobile app providers that scan receipts, and those pricing data from those receipts are shared with the Truflation committee. Sphinx, really cool company, providing data in commodities and enabling tradability associated with that. Parcel, you know about the Parcel relationship, another Solana ecosystem provider, enabling short and long tradability of real estate across the US. Basically, synthetic assets of real estate in the US market and even actually around the world. And so we'll be doing a couple of announcements also across that area. Universities that we partner. Look at all these DeFi companies. Check out what's going on. We've got the EV game, EV index on overlay, Perennial doing a couple of things. And there's some more coming here. Actually, Index.fund. Check out Index.fund. All of these are active and immediately take you across to where you need to go. So here you can see, boom, I'm on Index.fund. How quick was that? I mean, super quick. You can open the demo. And if you haven't been on here, let's see, where's Trump? We have the Bigly Trump. There's another Trump, actually. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. There's a Doge and Doge index, Elon Musk index. Deadlift index from Peter Levels, Nancy Pelosi. Where's the latest Trump index? I'm sure I saw it earlier. So they have a Trump family index. And if you like the woke company index, you can go there and get it there. And obviously the US inflation index ready for trades. It's really cool. Go there, test it out, play around with it, because you can actually get your own index and you earn money. If people trade and bet on your index, you will earn money. So check it out. And you can couple your I have to connect my wallet first. It doesn't know who I am. You see, you can choose any wallet. Of course, I'm going to use, oh, no. Sorry, guys, I'm just connecting for you. Okay, here you go. I'm now connected. I'm authenticated. You can see here, I can go to my index. And the beauty around my index is I can actually couple my wallet with my actual wallet address. So my X account is coupled with that. And so if you look at explore indexes, dude, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So anyway, you can place bets here. You can add and then place a bet. It then asks you to connect your wallet and you can bet. It's now going live, I think, in the next week or so. So Lucas and Sam are working on that, as well as Matthew. So the team's really heavily busy in the final stages and getting that cleaned up. So check that out if you like to. But ultimately, all I was trying to highlight was, again, how the depth of Truth Network and what is available for you to work with right now. So here's the ecosystem and the different chains. So we have the number of validators there. You can see the different technologies we're working with, synthetic assets, security, and here the blockchain. So we got Plume now live. Plume are just about to go list. We're doing some partnerships there to extend this, so it'll be available on more chains. A lot of the chains are also through Chainlink, so you can actually connect through the Chainlink network onto all of these chains through the Truth network, ultimately making any index or any data feed available on any chain. That's ultimately the advantage of a layer 3. Check that out and work on that. And in order to make these visible, and the team are very close to having finished, and I will invite Vadim onto the next show on next Tuesday. So stay tuned. But here you can see how they have been working on explorers. So we've got an explorer where you can see primitive data streams or composed data streams into the different categories. You can then see a breakdown, who's consuming which one, and what are the components. Here you go: deployed streams, owned streams, write access. Who is the owner of some of these indexes? You can see the traffic volume associated with that. What are they looking like? So you can see ultimately, it's like, think of your Etherscan. What's this look like? And this is all coming. I don't want to share too much to you because I'll let Vadim talk us through this when it's live. So this is all coming so that anybody joining can actually experience some of the what is being consumed, how often, and that will then be available for anybody to see. So you can actually track the actual activity across the Truth network. We want to make that public. You can see how popular some of these indexes are, and some of these indexes and the data streams. Truflation's also gone through a refresh, so check out Truflation. You can then go and see upcoming events. You can go view all, and here we have an economic calendar. What's coming down the road? So you can see January 24th, consumer confidence gets updated. So we talked about that. February 7th, employment situation. So you can see a whole bunch of economic data sets that are going to be announced, especially across the US, which ones are coming, when was it last updated. So just today, this is the latest date. And you can see next week what's coming up next week. And then use this for any kind of investment opportunity that you might excuse me. Woo, sorry about that. Whoa. Just I don't know what that was. Apologies there. But yeah, that is what's come up new. I talked about that. And what is also coming up new is a stronger comparison sets. What we've heard from the community is that they like to separate Truflation and have more interactivity with the economic data that's available on the Truth network, and don't meddle infrastructure with the data. And so we've been very focused on building out the capabilities, or the team have been very focused on building out the capabilities on Truflation. So now you can have multiple comparisons. So you can compare the deadlift with the AI index, and let's say, oh, what other index? I want to compare it against gold, or SPX 6900, SPX 500, let's say there. So why is it not? Oops. Must be something wrong with my browser. So Bitcoin, can I compare it against Bitcoin Cash, wrapped Bitcoin? And then let's compare this against inflation. I can compare it to US inflation index. It's still in test mode, so you can see that. And then I can go compare, and then you can see how each one compared. But this will be going live pretty soon. In the marketplace, you can see hedge index outperformed AI index way, 355% since 2023. So you were 3x your money had you just bought the AI index, or even the deadlift index. You would have made 95% return in the last 2 years. So nearly double your money. And we had the SEC chairman tell us that you're not allowed to invest. You have to be a sophisticated investor to be able to participate in this. Why? Because they wouldn't want you generating enough wealth, and participating in these opportunities. You do need to do your research, though, and that's why we've built what we can to help with that kind of research and that in-depth insight. Yeah, so we hope that these features will provide better insight, a better token offering, and really get, sort of show the value of what has been created and the utility that Explorer is going to show utility, and how people are using it and how often they're using it. That's what we want to see. And that's ultimately what we're trying to drive, ultimately growing the utility of the token. And as the utility of the token grows, so does the demand. And that's what we're really focused on. And we have a very long vesting schedule across the tokens. So we're bringing these tokens into market over a longer period of time. Yeah, that's it. Any questions you guys could have asked? I just think I addressed it. TVS, thanks for asking about the token. We'll see how it benefits from working with Solana. Look, we're trying to do that. I'm doing everything we can. And yeah, we're trying to market a lot more. We've changed up some of the team and some of the direction to support the protocol. And yeah, we're empowering the teams to really just go and let rip, and let's try and scale this thing as fast and hard as we can. There's going to be some interesting news with index.fun and nuon.fi. Check those out. And there's going to be other news that you and us have been talking about. And if you've been following our shows, you know what news that will be. But those contain parties that we are right now trying to develop partnerships with. And so when those partnerships are formalized, we'll be sharing that. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed these updates. I'm trying to keep them short, 35 minutes. You guys complained 1 hour was too long. So I'm cutting this short. Have a great day. See you on Thursday. I may go up to Davos quickly for a day or so, and maybe I'll film you from Davos. What do you think? Do you think I should go there, or should we just stay busy building and not spending any time up there? Let me know what you think. But we'll see how relevant they are. Be interesting to be up there when Trump gives his presentation on Thursday, and Millet's up there on Thursday as well. And then he'll be back here in Friday in Switzerland, in Zurich, giving a speech at the Institute, a liberal institute. Yeah, so lots of noise, news, and excitement. It's going to be a really exciting year. Days of Thunder. Stay tuned and have a great night and day, morning, evening, depending wherever you are on the planet. But it's going to be an amazing Tuesday, and it's going to be even better as we enter into the next, this 2025. It's a lucky year. Stay tuned. Thanks, everybody. See you on Thursday. Bye for now.